皆さんこんばんは。私はクリスです。今日も一日お疲れ様でした。ご視聴ありがとうございます。Welcome back to my channel. For today's reaction video, I am watching the real story of foreigners who visited China and Japan. The video is from this channel. では早速始めましょう。
And how it became a nightmare.
This is actually so dangerous and really scary.
Well, that was the most erratic bus journey of my entire life.
This amount of people is actually ridiculous.
この二人組のイギリス人は海外旅行の動画を投稿する YouTuber です。中国を訪れた彼らのリアルな反応を見てみましょう。
Well, that was the most erratic bus journey of my entire life. Thought I was going to die a couple of times. Enjoy it?
I don't know what to say. I feel a bit deflated. Out of the whole trip, 3.5 weeks in China, this day was the day I was looking forward to the most. I can't help but feel actually a little bit upset. You see it, people everywhere pushing me. There's speakers going off in my ear really loud. This amount of people is actually ridiculous. This is actually so dangerous and really scary.
What just happened because it was so chaotic. As soon as the bus came and the doors opened, everyone in this entire queue rushed onto it like they were getting away from a tsunami or something. Like, people were literally climbing over each other to get into this bus. I think quite a few of them were actually laughing, so maybe they find it kind of funny, but yeah, to us it's a little bit more than we bargained for, but it was definitely the most disappointing for sure.
Being brutally honest, it was the worst paid experience.
全世界から東アジアへの旅行客数は約3億3000万人。中国国会民管理局が2024年に発表した統計によると、中国へは約6500万人もの外国人旅行者が訪れるようです。中国を訪れた彼らのリアルな反応を見てみましょう。
来往车厢两边空位走。Alright, I'm actually not. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this. 车厢两边空位走。 It's overly crowded and packed. Sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but this is horrible. I just can't see it. I can't see it. I just see bloody heads. It's like taking the tube and it smells like sweat as well.
Okay, so I'm in Shanghai. I don't really know. It's probably the hardest place I've ever been to navigate. So obviously I'd done the 24-hour spa yesterday, and then I walked around in the city at night, and it's just really hard because obviously you have to kind of plan everything before because no one's around today. It's raining, given England weather. Christ. And if one more person asks if I want to buy fake stuff, I'm going to explode because it's happened probably about 187 times now. Yeah, it's not ideal.
Why you will struggle to live in China and why I no longer live there.
このフレッド・バートンという男性は、元イギリス政府の外交政策アナリスト兼中国語通訳として、北京のイギリス大使館に10年間勤務していたようです。彼は自身が中国を離れた理由を正直に語ります。
Cultural differences that people struggle with a lot is the idea in China that you can just stare at people, invade their personal space, and even pick up items out of their shopping trolley. I've experienced all of these things. And when I was living in China, families would just stare at me in the supermarket. They would say, oh, this is what foreigners eat. Look, they love bread and milk. And they would come and pick stuff out of my shopping cart and stuff like that. So there are many things which are very different in China, like the concept of personal space, like the concept of loud noise. Chinese people shout very loudly. They're boisterous. They'll bring music into a sauna like this guy was doing here the other day, a Chinese guy who I'm friendly with, but he just brings his iPad in and puts it in the sauna and is blasting out Chinese classical music in the middle of a sauna where there's lots of people. The reason you're really going to struggle to live in China, and this is kind of one of the big reasons why I don't anymore, is the annoying habits of Chinese people. And this is tied into the point about cultural differences, but it can just be quite wearing. I was there for 10 years. And it just starts to wear on your nerves when people are extremely loud, they spit, they let their kids pee in trash cans or on the street, they don't queue, there's pushing, You know, old grannies will barge you out of the way at a roadside food stall. It's just a bit basic, some of the behavior, some of the habits. I spent 3.5 mind-blowing years in...
一方でフレッド・バートン氏は2019年11月から2023年3月までの約3年半、日本にも滞在していました。日本での生活は彼の目にどのように映ったのでしょうか。
Traveling and life in the UK. The first thing I noticed after moving to Japan was the incredible level of politeness. And I had always thought of the UK as a polite country, but the Japanese take things to an absolutely whole new level. My mum came over to visit and she was in a wheelchair, and on many occasions people just went out of their way to help her. We went into a Starbucks and the girl came from behind the till. She ran out, opened the door, helped me get my mum inside. And this is just one of many, many instances where people are incredibly polite in Japan. I always saw the UK as a polite country before, but after coming back from Japan...
cultural. Pero cuando fui a China fue extremo.
中国を訪れた外国人のリアルな反応を見ていきましょう。
¿Cómo voy a durar 2 semanas en este país? O sea, hay millones de factores que contribuyen a que sea tan grande, pero les voy a contar 3 anécdotas. Y de repente vemos que hay niños de 4 años, 5 años, o sea, grandes, muchos, la gran mayoría, que sus pantalones tienen un hueco en sus partes íntimas. Y de repente vemos que estos niños orinan en la calle. Nunca vimos el número 2, pero nos contaron que así pasaba. Orinaban simplemente y seguían adelante. Como si nada. Y esto es mayormente en provincias, en ciudades ya normalmente usan pañales, etcétera, pero como ahí está el mausoleo de Mao Zedong y ellos por obligación tienen que ir a visitarlo por lo menos una vez en su vida, está lleno de gente de provincia y uno ve millones de niños así, simplemente defecando y orinando en la mitad de la calle. Fue el primer día de nosotros, Dios mío, o sea, esto se siente sucio, ¿no?
It's kind of a bit surprising considering I'm British. That was shocking to me. I'm from London. I live in New York. I'm not one who's shy or disturbed or annoyed by cigarette smoke. Like, that is the life in New York. I have smoked cigarettes. Like, I'm not bothered by cigarette smoke. But I was flabbergasted at how much people were smoking, but most importantly that people were smoking inside. Like, even I was in a hotel and my hotel room was like non-smoking, and I think my hotel room floor was non-smoking, but I would still see cigarette butts like on the floor inside the hotel, which was crazy to me. In like performances, I went to go see this like live performance and there were people just smoking inside during the live performance, in the lobby of restaurants. It happens everywhere. But then in that same vein,
before coming to China, I was told that people smoke a lot, and yet I was very surprised about it when I arrived. I didn't think Chinese people would be such heavy smokers. And I come from France, so I should be used to people smoking a lot, right? Still such another level. I mean, in China, people are still allowed to smoke indoor. They smoke in restaurants. How many times did I see cigarettes under my table? They smoke inside some trains. I had to move to another part of the train when I went to... It's kind of abstract to some people here, especially for old people. They just love to cut the line. And I noticed that if one person cuts the line, a lot of people are just going to follow the movement and do the same, which easily turns to something quite chaotic. Before coming here, I had this idea of Chinese people being into collectivism, like, okay, we're all in this together, let's make things easy for everyone. But in public space, that's where the so-called individualism comes up. It's more like me first and everyone for themselves. It's kind of same on the road, actually. And my boyfriend...
Talk about the culture shocks in China. I actually wrote, number 1 is that in China, we cannot use Google, YouTube, Instagram, and WhatsApp. As soon as you land here, these things stop working, okay? And number 2 is that everywhere you go, people will take pictures, they'll take videos, they will touch your hair, they'll touch your skin, because it's probably the first time that they're seeing a black person. Stupid. And flush toilet paper. Even if you poop, you don't flush. Just throw it in the bin, which is disgusting. Oh, as you flush it, oh, we don't flush. You just, when you finish, you just put it in the trash can. disgusting.
Another negative surprise was the amount of spitting that goes on. A lot of people smoke cigarettes and they smoke everywhere, so if you're not used to that, that might be a surprise to you. But they will smoke and then they will hack it up and spit constantly. You will hear it. I won't say negative or positive, but another thing that I've noticed about China is the amount of times I would get stared at. And yes, which was very kind, but some people don't ask, and as a solo female traveler, you can understand why that's a little bit uncomfortable. As an example, I was sitting on the train one day and I looked up and the man across from me had his phone up, and you could see in the reflection of his phone that it was me. I was in the phone and I literally waved at him and he just waved back like they don't think anything's wrong with it.
So I've been in Japan for about 72 hours now, and here are my first impressions.
ここからは日本を訪れた海外旅行者の反応を見ていきましょう。2024年の訪日外国人観光客数は約3690万人。最新の世界の観光都市ランキングでは、東京が3位にランクインしています。彼らは日本で一体何を感じたのでしょうか。
Tokyo, they weren't really looking at me when I was on the train or staring. They just mind their business. Even when I was taking photos, it's almost like you're not there, which for me as a black woman gives me so much peace. Japan is also very safe. It's one of the safest places for women. I didn't feel scared or threatened in any way at any point in time. Really safe, it's clean. It's quite fantastic. It's like one of those places that you have to be.
I've only been in Tokyo for a few hours. Well, actually, I landed last night and then slept forever, and we've only been out on the streets for a few hours. But first, two things I've noticed. One, it's so peaceful out here. It's so peaceful. I thought it would be a little bit crazy, like Bangkok, where I used to live, but it's hectic but peaceful. Like, people are so quiet on the streets. That's also why I'm keeping my voice down, because I don't want to be loud and disrespectful right now. Second thing, toilet seats are heated. So, yeah, maybe I'll move here next. Anyway, I'll keep you posted.
こちらは冒頭のイギリス人2人組 YouTuber です。彼らは日本にもやってきていました。この動画は日本旅行で最も最悪な瞬間というタイトルで投稿されたものです。彼は日本を離れる瞬間を最も最悪の瞬間だと表現しているのです。中国で壮絶な体験をした彼らは日本に来て一体どのような感想を話すのでしょうか。
Just touched down in Tokyo, Japan for the very first time, and I think this is the most excited we have ever been to set foot in a new country, because everyone we've spoken to that's been to Japan says that this is their favourite place.
Here we are, Japan!
It's 22 degrees right now. To tell you the truth, I thought it was going to feel a lot colder than that, but it really doesn't. It feels really nice and breezy. Gotta say, the streets so far, very suitcase friendly. As I thought it would be actually.
Suitcase friendly.
Really cute. I like it.
Okay, so this is £60-ish per night, and it's definitely a lot smaller than your average hotel room at that price point. But I was expecting it to be like a coffin.
The way it's decorated is so pretty. We've got a feature wall there. I've just noticed this TV, which is huge. That must be about 55-inch. And look at the size of this mirror with lighting.
The one thing we ask for in a hotel room is good lighting.
Yeah.
Natural daylight, because otherwise it's so hard to wake up in the morning. We've got a mirror here with some hooks either side, some slippers at the bottom. What's that? Oh, it's a shoehorn. They actually provide a shoehorn. That's cool. And some hangers up here. And there, bathtub. There's the sink. And here is the office. And it is a smart toilet. You've got rear wash, front wash, and then you can change the pressure there.
Office.
No idea what any of this.
Relief. That's got to be one of the softest beds actually that we've had.
I swear, I've never seen a place this crowded in my whole entire life, and that includes Foo Fighters concerts, it includes most cities in China.
There are so many people. It actually looks so. It actually says when there's a crowd, keep to the left. It helps you walk through the street easier.
By when there's crowds, do they mean all the time? Just keep to the left, surely.
Probably.
This is chaos, but it's actually pretty manageable, organised chaos, I would say.
I'm going to say something shocking. I think this is one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Now, it's been chaotic, loud, very weird, but it's also been the best city of all time.
It's a change because they had set the bar to a completely new.
最後にフレッド・バートン氏が語る日本に対する本音を見ていきましょう。
If you're in a McDonald's, if you're in a Starbucks, if you're in a public toilet, wherever you may be, the people working there take pride in their jobs, take their work very seriously, give you incredible service, And this really puts the UK to shame. When you come back to the UK, people don't seem to enjoy their jobs. They're badly presented. Related is the Japanese work ethic. And you see this across all sectors and areas, as I said, whether it's in the service industry, even in McDonald's, or whether it's with tradesmen, skilled manual laborers, in companies. Wherever you are, there is just an intense work ethic, and it's the last, and that is the level of discipline in Japan. People are extremely disciplined, and you see this even with little children walking to school in winter in shorts. They wear shorts all year round. They are tough. There is a level of toughness in the country, and it is impressive. And this goes throughout the whole society, and it comes across in some of the areas that I also talked about, like the service industry and stuff. People are well presented, well turned out. They have standards. It's related to a high level of standards across the country, and that goes for personal presentation, personal hygiene, how people conduct themselves. There is a high standard across the country, and also it's interlinked with this high level of person. Fifth striking comparison between the UK and Japan is the level of safety. I went to Tokyo on my first trip to Japan. Couldn't understand why people wouldn't just be snatching them up and running off with them like they would do probably in London. And it was people were putting down their cell phones to actually hold their place while they went up to get their drink. So people were using cell phones as placeholders, even in the capital city, in Tokyo. So this is kind of an incredible eye-opener for me. Comparisons between the UK and Japan after 3.5 years living in Japan. I would say overall, I absolutely love Japan. It's a country.
いかがでしたでしょうか。ぜひコメント欄で今回の動画の感想やご意見を聞かせてください。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for the video. I'm a subscriber of your channel. Interesting comparison. These are the culture shocks of foreigners visiting foreign countries. We totally understand. Because as a foreign visitor, you keep comparing your country to other countries. And because of cultural differences, you'll be surprised. You know, in the Philippines, spitting, children peeing on the streets, or even adult men is common. It's also chaotic in the Philippines. I wonder what these foreigners would say if they visited Philippines. I've never been to China, and these revelations also surprised me. How do Japanese do it? They're very organized. They're very polite. They don't cause inconvenience to others. Japan is Japan. They're on a different level. Well, this video was interesting. Thank you so much to the uploader. I'm a subscriber of your channel. And to all my viewers, Goshicho arigatou gozaimashita. Mata jikai o aishimashou. Oyasumi nasai.